Hello, and welcome to the second video in a series focusing on IntelliG's workload management tool, also known as the WMT. In this video, we're going to take a tour of the WMT and look at the views and functions available to the supervisor and the worker. This video will be an introductory view. In later videos in this series, we will show more detail. You'll quickly get to see that there is a lot more capability that can be covered in a single video. So let's dig in and take a first look. WMT is protected by a username and password combination. These credentials will be the same that you use to log into your Windows workstation. Depending on your access, you may have the ability to navigate to one of the following areas: Clerk, Worker, Supervisor, and Reports. Let's start at the Supervisor workspace first. I've logged in as a supervisor who manages a team of social workers. By clicking on the following icon, I'm taken right to my supervisor's workspace. In this view, my team is visible, and a quick glance will tell me how my team are doing with their assignments. I can see each of my social workers and how many work unit assignments they currently have open, completed, voided, cancelled, and overdue. I have the ability to customize this view by adding and removing columns, and by moving columns so that it best suits the way I work. My preferences then will be remembered from session to session. I can see, for example, that Alan has the most work assignments and that he has the highest number of overdue work units too. With this information, I can help manage my team's workload, and specifically Alan's workload. By clicking on his row, in the lower table I see all of the work units that he has been assigned. I can select these 4 overdue work units and transfer them to another worker. Now, while I can do this easily in the system, I might want to complete this step when we're together so that he's aware and can provide more detail on the work units which should be moved. If you remember from the first video, a work unit represents an assignment of any kind defined by your organization that contains phases and action steps. In the Supervisor view, I can view each of my workers' sessions by first clicking on them in the Teams table, and then by clicking on the Work Units button. In this view, I can interact with their work units to better understand what steps they've completed so far. All of the functionality available to the worker, such as creating worker reminders, alerts, custom action steps, and so on, are also available to me as the supervisor. Each member of my team, including myself, has a profile. The profile allows me to specify the type and grouping of work that I'd like to focus my staff on. I can specify which languages they can offer service in, and if there are any considerations that I need to take into account when distributing work. I also have the ability to specify how many active days during the month they are available. This will also be used in the weighting of work that comes to them. As a supervisor, I might have other supervisor colleagues whose teams I can cover in the event that they are on vacation or unavailable for any reason. Using the Supervisor Proxy feature, I can give permission to other supervisors to view my session, and in return, other supervisors might grant me access to view their sessions also. Once this has been set up, I can choose the name of the supervisor whose team I want to work with, and I'm able to see and interact with their team as if they were my own. I have complete control over when and how I allow access. For work units that have been configured to participate in a supervisor quality review, these are collected in the Review Work Units tab. I can perform reviews in the case management system to ensure that the work is being completed correctly, and if there's anything missing or incomplete, I have the ability to send the work unit back to the social worker along with comments, and I can set a date when the work should be completed. My staff member will clearly see the work unit flagged as being sent back with the Return to Center icon, and they can make the adjustments and recomplete it again. If I am happy with the work completed for this assignment, then I just click on the Complete button. Let's move over to the worker's workspace. The initial view for the worker has been designed to show at a high level all of the work assignments that they have been assigned. The main table contains a list of these assignments, and as a worker I can customize this view by moving the column orders around and showing and hiding some of the columns that I might be interested in using the column chooser. My preferences are then remembered from session to session. There is also some deep sorting functionality which will allow for several layers of sorting and advanced filtering so that I can really pinpoint those records that I'm interested in seeing. Many of the columns have special features. For example, I can highlight the case number and copy it to the clipboard so I can paste it into the case management system to quickly and easily retrieve a record. I have the ability to set up personal groupings of my work units, which are only visible to me. And I have a quick way to find a case by typing in the first few characters into the Find by Case Name, Case Number field. If I click on a work unit, I will see the corresponding phases and action steps in the bottom section. I can click on an action step and get detailed information about what that step requires. The step description can also contain links that will open and show policy documents or any other content relevant to that step. To complete a step, I just click the corresponding Done checkbox. Note that the last action step field in the main list will reflect the step that I've just completed. The completed date and completed by fields are automatically filled in. In this example, note that the highlighted step has been completed by another worker. To move a phase along, I simply click the Next Phase button and click Advance. The next phase is then highlighted as being the current phase. If I'm on the last phase, this button will show Complete, which when clicked will complete the work unit. A note for seasoned social workers: I have the ability to complete the entire work unit by clicking this checkbox. In this case also, the worker has left me a brief note about some action that he took on the work assignment. This additional information can be especially useful in helping me understand where we are in providing service on this particular case. Now, a word of clarification. The worker reminders are different than case comments and are in no way meant to replace them. Your organization's rules for managing case comments in your case management system will still apply. The New Alerts tab contains a list of alerts that I set against my individual action steps. I will only see alerts for dates that match the current date and before. This means that I can set dates in the future, and when the future arrives, I will see an entry here. If I click on the case number, it will select the assignment it pertains to. If I have completed the step that is in the Alerts tab, I can just click Done from here, and the alert leaves my tab, and the action step is completed. Let's take a brief look at the global search area. From here, it's possible to view any work unit within the system, regardless of its assignment or work status. I can fine-tune my search by adding in criteria to search for, and then I can click the Search button to produce the results. The results will show how many work units were returned, along with a summary list of the records that were found. I can click on one or more of these work units or the entire list, and then click Select to pull them into my work list. Notice that the drop-down box here shows that I'm viewing a custom list. I can now work on these records as if they were assigned to me directly. To get back to my work unit list, I click here again and select Show My Work Units from the drop-down list. These are just some of the high-level features that are available in both the Supervisor and Worker portals. In subsequent videos, we will do an in-depth look into the more advanced functions that are available.